Alright guys, we're going to take a look at getting the arm triangle from the mount. We're going to do so by spider walking his arm over his head, and then it'll be a pretty easy transition. Okay? So, often when we get to the mount, we find that our partner brings their arms up by their head in order to defend from chokes. He doesn't want to have his elbows exposed where I can just go for things. So if you were in the gi, he might have his arms crossed in front of his neck, trying to protect his collars. If you're no gi, they might just be shrugged and he might be doing a home alone face. Okay. Regardless, I need to get my wrist behind his elbow. Okay. So I'm going to be low. I'm going to slide one leg back just a little bit so I can get my wrist behind his elbow. Now my thumb is going to be the head of a spider, and I'm going to walk his elbow out. If I try to use my fingers, it's going to be a strong resistant arm. Okay? If I try to use my fingers, it's pretty difficult. He can resist. When I use my thumb, it's a completely different sensation for him. So I continue to walk this arm out. When I feel like I can't walk his arm any further, I bring my head to the other side. I can bring my hand in, and I can continue to walk. Every time I move my head, it ratchets his arm deeper and deeper. Okay? So, I'm going to come inside, I'm going to get a cross face. I'm going to slide my leg back just enough to get my elbow or my wrist behind his elbow. My thumb is the head of my spider, and I'm crawling it straight towards you. I want this hand to come under his armpit, and I'm going to continue to walk this until I can grab the other side of his head. Okay? So I have one arm going from head to armpit, the other arm going from armpit to head. I'm going to use my head and plop it down over the other side. Okay? You might have to do a little bit of pushing sometimes. But I'm going to get to here, and I bring my head around to get right back to that same position we've been talking about. Okay? It's a little bit trickier to get your collarbone all the way to the armpit from the mounted version. But as long as we're keeping our elbow flat and we keep good positioning on everything else, we still should be fine. Okay? I'm going to get a little tighter under his neck. My palm goes flat. I'm going to push to the side so I get my collarbone in his armpit. And I'm going to push my head to his head so he can't get that arm out. When it comes to mounting, I don't like to try and do this free. I feel like it's too easy for him to bump me, for him to bridge me over his shoulder, over his right shoulder. Go ahead, bridge. And now there's space for his arm to come out. Okay? So when I do this one, I like to at least be here. At least I like the gable, and I'm going to tuck my elbow under him a little bit. That way if he tries to bridge and roll that way, he finds it really difficult. Okay? Even stronger is to grab my bicep and to grab my head. Now I'm going to flare my knees wide, I'm going to sink my hips down, and I'm going to drive forwards and flex and take a deep breath to find my finish. Okay, let's rotate. All right. So I sneak one arm inside to the floor, and I'm looking for my cross face. Okay, whether you're on top of the shoulder, under the armpit, I want this nice and tight. This leg needs to make enough space for my wrist to get in here. Keep your elbows nice and tight, really strong. Okay, it's gonna be hard for me to just dig this. So look. My knee comes back just a little bit to get my elbow under there. Now my knee comes back, keeping that position. My thumb leads the dance. And I walk his thumb all the way over. Can't go any further, I ratchet it. Grab the armpit, grab the head, bring your arm to the other side. Collarbone to the armpit, elbow to the mat. I'm going to close off this grip just to stabilize the position, and I still want my head to try and touch his head. I'm going to flare my knees and slide my hips back a little bit so I can get a little flatter and flatter to it. Punch my way up to my figure four. I see a lot of people try and bring their arms wide to get a figure four. There's a lot of space here now. If I want to get that grip, I'm going to punch straight forwards. Now this arm is still touching his back rather than, oh, this big open space. Boom. All the way up, I grab my head. You can finish from the mount,
Or I can drive my weight forwards, I can pick one foot up, and I can leave the mount and head right back to the same spot that we were finishing in before.